Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be much stronger in the presence of my Savior.
Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior.
You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where feet may fail. And there I find you in the mystery and oceans deep. My faith will stand. Oh,
Your grace abounds in deepest waters. Sovereign hand will be my guide. When it's made all our fears around me, you never failed, and you will stand now.
Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me. Spirit, lead me. Spirit, lead me. Take me deeper. Take me deeper. Take me deeper into you.
Spirit, lead me where my faith is without borders, meaning take me where I 100% just believe in God, believe in ancestors, believe in my purpose, and believe in my ability to accomplish it. Welcome to another experience of Alkebulan Inspirational Sunday, where our focus is always the rise of the African in you. This is our social media Pan-African movement, where we are bringing together uh, all ages of Black youth. Because some of us are older, but still young in our understanding of what the Creator will have us be and do. So what we learn and do and experience here, yeah, it's for everybody, right? And so we try to make sure that we put this information out in a way where the youngest of us is being fed, and then the oldest of us is being fed, right? So again, welcome to Alkebulan Inspirational Sunday. If you happen to be, before we continue, if you happen to be watching us on Facebook, please like, comment, share. This is how we do what my community calls COR, community outreach, letting other people know who we are and what we're doing. Like, comment, and share creates the algorithm, the technological algorithm on the profile, so that other individuals who follow you, who talk to you, who you interact with daily can see what you're looking at, what you're experiencing. And this may say, hey, this person liked this, they even commented. What do you think? And so we can continue to grow our community. If you're watching us on YouTube, please click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you could get be aware, get a notification or be aware every time we are streaming live, and we have multiple programs, right? Sunday is Keebaland Inspirational Sunday, it's noon. Tuesday is The African Speaks, which is a more deeper, profound conversation. Thursday nights is After Stream. Saturdays are you have African history at 1 and African spirituality at 2 now. Of course, we've been juggling this schedule because we've been going through a whole lot. This is graduation season, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. And we're going to congratulate all of our graduates on multiple levels. As we continue, we want you to know that everything we do is a part of a covenant experience we have with the Creator. It's an ancient covenant promise that God will be our God if we be His people. And so we ask those who are connected to the understanding of what we're supposed to do, please come together and let's maintain our part of the promise. Not that you'll be a person of God. It doesn't change the world around us. God needs us to be a people to create global change. A people, which is based off of our relationships and how we interact on multiple levels. It's how we interact with God, how we interact with those who have gone before, the respect that we show, the honor that we show, the reverence that we show for the work that they put in. And then we have with ourselves. How do we carry ourselves in our day to day, the relationship we have with ourselves? That's that what people call self love, right? You said people can't love you as much as you love yourself. That is deeply untrue. Some people can love you more than you love you. Right. But then also match the love that you may get from when you feel like you don't even deserve it. But it's a relationship with yourself and then the relationship with each other. The relationship we have with people we see daily or even people that we just look like. Man, I see pictures all over and I'm looking at people's faces and realizing, wait a minute, that person looks like me. Bless them. That person's shaped like me. Bless them. Talks like me. Bless them. Thinks like me. Bless them. Relationships. And then the relationship with nature. Because that's how we experience, we see God on a major basis when we look at nature. Anytime you can find yourself quiet in nature, you're going to find yourself quiet with God. Mm, Think about it. And so now we want to make sure that you understand that our favorite word is continuity, meaning we don't experience these relationships out of a vacuum. This is something that has gone back since the beginning of time, where African people and Pan African people and Black people and people of the African diaspora connect their journey to the journey that the of humanity, where we first began, because everything comes out of an African people, everything. And that's what we're trying to get back to. That's what we're trying to connect to. The world got jealous and they broke the relationship and stole our place. And now we're connecting back to our history, to our culture, to our heritage, to all the stories and the journeys. and we're combining that effort. So it's one mind, one body, one people. Continuity, definitely continuity. And so in this space of, you talk about continuity of chronology, we're going to say that we are in the Pentecost season. Yes, this is the Pentecost season. This is the season that fire, right? If you are Yoruba, Igbo, you know, this might be the season of Shango, right? And this is that power season. It's a season where that pure fire, pure energy is blessed unto you. We said that this is the year of 22. And so every time you see the year 22, it is to remind you that the creator and the ancestors and everybody around you, all the spiritual entities are sending you double portion of divine power for you to get through or receive so that you can do what you're called to do. And you're like, what is that? That's what Pentecost is about. Focusing on the things that you are good at, you are bad at, and the things that are around you in your life and the situations and circumstance so that you could receive power, what they say, from on high. Power from the creator herself. If y'all was watching Mother's Day, yeah. The mother of all creation. Woo. She a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so in Pentecost, God, the mother, has been sending us a substantial amount of power. And so during Pentecost, we sit with our friends, we get together. It's 50 days after Easter, where Israel celebrated the Pentecost season. It's a festival where, and in that festival, the story of Jesus, he goes to Jerusalem, proclaiming his place as King of Israel. He's fulfilling a prophecy, crucified, resurrection, Easter. Days after that, his disciples go into an upper room experience, meditate, pray, and call on the power of God until they came down with the power on high. So in this experience, this has always been my favorite because this is the experience that without me going to church, right? And I'm reading about this. I'm reading about this at 12 years old. And I was on punishment so long, I read everything. And I read the Bible, right? Or stories in it. Put it that way. I was reading stories in the Bible, and this was one of them. And so, me having a stack of comic books, I got a crazy comic book collection. I read the story about the 12 disciples receiving power from on high, and I realized, wait a minute, these were normal men who surrendered themselves to the Creator, the mother of all creation. And she blessed them with the power from on high. And so I ran outside playing Peter because they said Peter could heal people with his shadow. So I was trying to make people run in my shadows. Can you imagine 12 years old in New York doing this? Everybody thought I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I wasn't, because here I am still reaching out to the mother of all creation, asking her to bless me with the power of on high so that I can reach out. And this is what social media allows us to do, reach out to each other, to share who we are. Now, again, during Pentecost, we're seeing a lot of individuals, young individuals, walk into the power of who they are through graduation. Told you we're going to talk about it. Pentecost graduations is during the season of Pentecost. You're like, what? Yes, because now when you're walking across and they're giving you, and it's like a rites of passage. It's another form of rites of passage. It is saying that you're graduating, you're moving forward, you've accomplished a sense of understanding. Now, how basic the understanding or how in-depth understanding is, that depends on, how much you applied yourself. Now, some people say, I'm never going to use this. You never know what God has for you. And so it is a pride, it's a feeling of accomplishment when you can get to that point. And so that's what we've been doing. Now, my blessing is being able to watch my baby girl walk across that stage with the engineering degree. Yeah, we had a little miniature photo shoot. This is one of the pictures that's coming out. Shh, she don't know I'm showing it. Shh, she didn't release it yet. But we have some more coming, and we have another session that she's supposed to do, and all that'll be coming on her page. But yeah, this is when you're walking into uh, an experience where you're crossing over, and you saw a vision of what you can accomplish, and you went out to accomplish it. and she graduated with some honors. So I'm giving applause and kissing out to all those and sending congratulations to all those individuals who have graduated this year, this season, this experience. May you take this initiation process of you growing or maturing into more of who God has called you to be seriously and manifest everything, mm, everything that you are called to be. Now, that's the thing. Everything you are called to be is different than anything else. Not something that somebody told you, not some far fetched dream, but God has placed an identity in you that He says, I need you to manifest this person that I have on the inside. And we'll talk about that. And during Pentecost, we said it, the story of the 12 disciples coming together as friends. Let's go. How many of us have them? This is it. This is my joint. Let y'all know this is my cousin. I got another one I'm gonna play next week. That is, it's gonna be one of the Alkebulan members. Yeah, it's hot too. Can't wait to. I'm still working on the video. Before we go any further, I should have been ready. Let's be friends. Uh-oh. There we go. Before we go any further, let's be friends. A Pentecost journey. Yes. Now, with this, we got to understand that it's different than when you say your friends. It's your clan, your boys, your people you roll with. And a lot of us have friends, but then you don't usually take a look at the quality of the friends you have. This is my best friend. This is my buddy. This is my chum. Yo, this is my dude. My dude. Real story. I have a friend named Hanif that I went to college with. And when me and Hanif was on Savannah State campus, we would always, we would build what they call. And it's like sharing wisdom, knowledge, and understanding amongst each other. Hanif now is a sheikh. He's named Sheikh Hanif. And in the Muslim community, that's a high-ranking minister. Powerful. And he's one of the only sheikhs in this particular sect of Islam. And it's a beautiful thing. And so I went to go see him speak recently. And what touched my heart in that experience was realizing that we were in our early, 20s, teens and late teens, early 20s, talking about an experience with God. And then years down the road where we are absolutely matured. I'm gonna tell you, my man, Sheikh Hanif, his stomach's so big he got to lean back. That tells you the journey that we were on. And so we understood, and I said, "Wow, very few times that I could sit down and look at individuals where I say we had a common bond, and throughout the time that our journey in life, we stayed to that common bond, and we still find ourselves. Not only were we young men of God, but now we are seasoned men of the mother of all creation and love. And so friends are always, it's the right friends, not just anybody, the right friends that will challenge you to do better. So this Pentecost season is about you getting with not somebody that is that you're always comfortable, but it's that person, that friend that will challenge you to get to your best self. Because without them, you see yourself, I might be great, but yeah, I had a friend who pushed me with graphics, technology, and photography. Was my daughter's godfather. His name is Seve. And we would always push and push and push and push each other to our greatest self, to the point where my ceiling broke. Right. My ceiling broke, and I said, there is nothing I can't do in this realm. And so I was always like that. And before we started down the road of photography, I said, be careful, because I don't know how to be second to no man. That was the blessing of what God placed in me at a young age. I didn't want to be second to nobody. That doesn't mean I always had to be first, but that means that whoever was first, we could see each other eye to eye, and there be a mutual respect, love, and admiration for someone. You didn't look at me as lesser. You looked at me and saying he has the capability of doing great things also. And so most of my friends who were friends growing up was those that I could push and challenge. And if I couldn't push and challenge you, then yeah, we wasn't cool because you wouldn't push and challenge me. Why? Because they're the ones who will see the greatness in you. I see how good you are. I know you could be better. And so I got to push it. And sometimes they see it. It says they'll see the greatness inside of you before you do, way before you do. Now, most of the time, your parents may see it, or a coworker may see it, or your, mentor, mentee may see it. Your cousins may see it. Your brother might see that you're good at something and push you. Those are the individuals you want in your corner when it's time to move to the next level, even in the classroom. If you're learning something for those who graduated, you're not sitting there throwing up your peace signs, your crew signs, or whoa, saluting each other just because you graduated. But the people that you were with, did they push you to produce your best? Because in those experiences, you're going to know what a friend feels like, because you're going to get to see how limitless you can be. And we have talked about this for a minute. I went back and pulled up old memes and ads that I put together for Pentecost, right? Black genius. Embracing their culture can help you unlock your true gifts. Knowing who and whose you are and where you're from and your people. Wait, before I got to stop. Before I get started, but knew who your people, I'll do it again. And then also that melanated power. There's a specialness being black, because the world will make you think that there's nothing special about it. We have to talk about Black Lives Matter because we live in a society that's trying to condemn us just for being black. You heard what happened in New York? A white guy walked into a thing and just started do, and it was all racially motivated. Was it 13 people shot, uh, 3 injured, 10 survived, or something like that? No, a couple of people died. I don't know details. It bothered me when I read it. And so we live in a world that is against us. And so it is deeply important that you know who and whose you are. And so I pulled it up so that, if you can go far back, because we're trying to tap into what people call black genius. That black genius, that intelligence I wonder if I posted that word up in here, because I had it in here. Nope, it's not here. That black genius that you are, but something that God placed in you. And so last week we dealt with the issue of how important criticism is amongst your friends. How important that is amongst the people who love you. How many of us has them? How important that is. And so today what we wanted to talk about was why. Why is it so important to have quality friends, especially during Pentecost season and throughout your life journey? Why is it important for you to access that melanated power? Why is it important for you to tap into the black genius? Because we talk about this again. We go, I don't know how far back. We go far as back as our community can start, where we talked about Pentecost. And usually, and for me, again, this is my most powerful, my best experience. And I've always struggled with this because it's not always easy to find that individual who can push you. Well, push me, because I'm the best pusher ever. And then people get mad and they feel some kind of way when I realize I can't push you to be your greatest. And how you gonna push me? And I have those conflicts. I'm trying to push you to do better than what you have, and let me offer some suggestions, and you don't want to take them because why? They came from me, then we're not friends. And then I have those issues. And so in those issues, I sit down and I say, okay, you might be friends, but you may not be the right one. Right one to be in this spiritual journey with me. And sometimes you have to ask that about that. And the issue is, a lot of people don't understand, why do I have to reevaluate this? Why do I have to look at this all the time? And this is not just for Pentecost season. This is your journey, period. Birds of a feather flock together. If you're not, example, my daughter. And he went to college, and she made sure, Daddy, and it was a new environment where she knew no one, and she always had the ability to interact and meet people and make new friends. And so she knew that in this space in her journey that she can only really be close friends with individuals who are going to push her to her best self, because there was an answer she had to come up with. So we're going to get into why is it important for you to deal with the issue of friendship. And this is going to give you the purpose of Pentecost. Answering why it is important that you look at this will give you the purpose of Pentecost. And each year, your purpose, you should be getting deeper and deeper into that Pentecost season. Now, during the story of of the 12 disciples in the Bible, they were dealing with a social equation. You're like, what? God has placed us all on this earth to answer questions. Well, what questions am I here to answer? That's what you're supposed to find out. We're supposed to put you in a lot of, as parents and individuals who lead children to that experience. We're supposed to have so many different life um, challenges, things that you can experience and endure and go through, so that you can find out what tugs at your heart and your mind. The ones that challenge both. The thing that you love, and someone said is, Olu, Earth Gang said, you know your purpose when it's something that you can do easy, you don't even think about. But then just because you do it easy doesn't mean that you'll be able to resolve what you need to do with it. A talent. But your talent sometimes is what you do, not who you are. Right? Now, what you do with who you are manifests to answering a question, a social equation. So I paused. And none of us, very few of us likes to take a look at equations and try to figure them out. Who likes looking at now? Some people love math, some people love science. Yeah, some people love art, some people love music. But life is an equation, meaning that whatever God placed in you what is inside you, the gifts, the talents, the attributes, and the purpose is inside. That's the equation of trying to dig inside yourself to figure out what's there. And other people may see it like, okay, growing up, people say, oh, you're a great actor. Don't miss your calling. Acting may have been a talent, but I don't know if it was my calling. Well, the Alkebulan is my calling. I use every talent in me solve the equation where Black youth needs direction to be their best self. This is who Jay the African is. Now, for those who know, I got the classic on. It's the classic Alkebulan Academy. This Alkebulan Academy. It's the classic. I wonder, y'all got classics? Yeah, I want pictures on World of Alkebulan showing the classics. Yeah, go to the page and y'all drop your classics, because I got my classic on. And we are here. We are our own equation. We are our own equations. We're trying to solve the problem that God placed us here with the talent. God said, look, you want to have the social dynamic of life change. You have to change it. You have to be who you are called to be to change your situation. A lot of people are running from who they're called to be. And so life don't change. You want it to, but it don't. Because you refuse to engage yourself. Or hang out with people who can help you find out what you're supposed to be responding to. What are you the answer to? Right? What are you what is it? The coefficient. What are you square rooting? How are you a variable? All these mathematical equations, these symbols, these signs. What are you? Who are you? In that, and then you can look about that and say, what can I solve? Now we got the clips of social well-being. We as a people go through, as an African people, as African diaspora, we go through so much in a society that is created not to like us all the time. And so there are things that there are questions around our being, our well-being, which are education. All of us are not getting educated properly. The miseducation of the African diaspora. We're not learning right history. We're not learning the right points of views, perspectives, right? The right paradigms of life. We're not learning good culture. We're learning capitalistic values. Dog eat dog. Only the strong survive. I'm like, I'm sorry. Not as an individual, but as the strong, we talking about the race. We all can survive if we focus on our well-being as a group. Finance. Yeah, you can't, if you can't feed, clothe, and house, if you don't have no finance, what they say, romance without finance is a nuisance. Finance makes the world go round. You can't have a revolution if you don't have a financial base to build it. Cooperative economics is what they call it. And then work, ethics, values, your work ethic, and then being able to work in an environment where you can take care of the responsibility that's yours. In the world in which we live in, everybody doesn't have sufficient jobs. You know, I speak to some people, some of people still got 3 jobs, 4 jobs. In this economic environment where we're using social media, and that's going to be another conversation, and that's going to be a lesson for the African Speaks, how to use today's technology to gain financial freedom, work ethic. What can you do? How can you use those two to leverage? And then housing, where we live. Some of us still live in not so good neighborhoods. You know what I mean? You're not sitting out on your porch at night. Why? The gunshots is flying. You know? Some of us still have to have. I had a friend of mine tell me, she said, I finally took the security off my home because I realized I was not living in that environment. So I pay for this and I'm gonna take that money and save it. Housing, work-life balance. That means you go to school and you play, or you go to work and you play. The balance of life, to be able to put some sweat in and then some relaxation in. Then the democracy, which is politics. We're always voting for our civil rights. But if you could ever live in a country that gives you human rights, you won't have to vote for civil rights. And so we fight for civil rights. I'm like, that's the wrong fight. The right and righteous fight is human rights. And that should be granted to everybody. Then you have security, feeling safe. There are things that people, again, there are situations in life that we are equations to. You're the equation. You're the answer to these equations. What are you going to create in your life? What are you going to do? What are you going to produce? Who are you going to produce it with? How's it going to serve somebody? We again trying to be the people of God. Right? We're walking in why Pentecost is so important. Why focusing on Pentecost is so important, because you're focusing on learning you because you were sent. Say, I was sent by God to address a life problem. I am the solution sent by God to address a life equation. I am sent by God as a resource to fix something. Who knows what you're going to fix when the minute you tap into who you are? We're going to get to that. Health wise, how we eat. We've been eating, there's what we call slave food, and there is eating healthy. Our mindset will continue to have us eating slave food, living in a vessel that is not taken care of. Obesity is a disorder. It is because someone did not eat well. That doesn't mean you can't be. Now, some of us are thick, but there's a difference between thick and healthy and being thick and unhealthy. There's definitely a difference. And so maybe you might be the one that communicates the diet, the right diet, to help people in certain ailments. We have herbalists who are now embracing that wisdom of herbs. I have a friend and she knows what herbs come together. Like if you had a scar on your face, she can give you the right herbs, rub it, and the scar disappears. And she did it. I'm like, girl, you need to sell this. But again, she has to see herself as the answer and she has to see it as her call. You got to know who and whose you are. Social connection, how to dialogue, interact. Because everybody, all black people live from a state of mental illness. Everybody does. Everybody has a level of mental illness. If you're not walking in God's calling, even if you are walking in God's calling, you might have less of the mental illness. But we all have a mental disorder because we live in a world where we experience post-traumatic slave syndrome, right? And then y'all know, all y'all heard of PTSD, post-traumatic slave disorder. During COVID, everybody's been dealing with a whole bunch of stuff. Traumatic issues where we're stressed out. We got to be able to learn how to reach out, connect, and talk to each other and with each other to help build up each other. Then, of course, the wellness being, mind, body, and spirit integration. So many problems that we have as a people that we need answers for. And so this is why, because we need answers, you have to ask the first question, who am I? And on that journey of answering your question is when God is going to reveal to you. And this is why as kids, yeah, go play kickball, play baseball, play basketball, play football, play Scrabble. I said it, Scrabble, play hangman, you name it. Do robotics, coding, play video games. You do everything to find out what talent is inside you. Everything. Do acting, graphics, paint. Do everything to see what's there, because God is asking you always, since you got here, I need you to know thyself. I need to know who I created you to be and what I put in you. Look at the world around you, because there are going to be things that you can fix. The minute that you learn who you are, answer that question, and when you know who you are, after a while, you'll start realizing that everything that you need is inside you. Things start coming out of you. Conversations, words, dialogue, thoughts, creativity. Creativity. In all areas, creativity. Because you are co-created in God, and there's something He placed in you. He said, I'm going to put this in you, and you're going to have to create something with it. It's deep inside. It's that light inside you. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. That's what it talks about. Something that God placed in you that you don't want anybody to touch or destroy. We're supposed to be leading you to the light inside you. That's what why? Pentecost, because you are, without a shadow of a doubt, the answer. You're the answer. When people say, I am my ancestors' wildest dreams, I want you to tell me how. Woo! I see so many people saying it. How? Tell me, what are you responding to and how are you answering that? How? Let's be honest with ourselves, because friends will challenge us to ask the hard questions. What are you doing to show that you are the answer? Because the second you know that you are the answer, the spark goes off. What? That spark of light, that idea, that thought hits you. I know what I'm supposed to create. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to achieve. And it's not because you've convinced yourself to it, but you know that you heard a deeper voice in you saying that this is who I'm called to be. And I have no shadow of a doubt. And it's different, because in that state of being able, why Pentecost is here, answering who you are, finding, this is the push, tapping you into what your genius is, because it's there. You're the answer to something. Pentecost leads you to the power that God placed in you that you're going to answer to. I know I'm called to be what? I know I'm called to do what? Now, if you're being great at everything, woo, when that answer hits you, man, when that answer hits you, you're about to be one powerful, wonderful individual. And that's what we're leading you to. And in today's world, we have so much technology around us. You don't have to wait until you're this old. No, all you have to do is understand that I am a creative genius, and there's no other word, no other way to word it. Say it. I am a creative genius, and there is no other way to word it. You are a creative genius, and there is no other way to word it. Why? It is built in your DNA structure. This is the DNA strands. If y'all been hanging out long enough, y'all know this is DNA. And God placed it in your DNA. And we said God is uncoding your DNA as you move, as you experience something, new thoughts, new things. If I pull a hair out my chin, bloom, throw it away, my code says grow another one. There's certain coding in your body that you cannot erase. You can't touch. It's in you. It's there. We have individuals. I have a friend of mine and she sings. Now, has she used that? Sparingly. Sparingly. But wait a minute. This is built in your DNA. It's a part of who God called you to be. How do you use that talent and that gift to manifest God's presence all day, all around you? Woo. That's a question. When something is built inside you, when something is a part of you, when something is it's a part of you breathing, it's in your DNA, God placed it there, and no one can tell you when you find it that you cannot tell you that you're not a creative genius. I am a creative genius. There's no other way to word it. God placed that in your being. Pentecost season is a season that you get with your friends and y'all push each other to become creative geniuses in whatever God has for you. And it's different per child. It's different per person until you might line yourself up with individuals who think and like and have that same genius. And so you can ride with them all day because y'all bouncing creative juices off of each other. And say, yo, let's try this. Ooh, let's try that. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then you're pushing each other. And there is no other word for it but creative genius. It's that black excellence. It's that melanation magic, that melanated magic. It's you. Why? Because it's in your DNA. Pentecost is the season to tap deep into it. Because you're the answer. Say, I am the answer. Not only you that you are your ancestors' wildest dreams, I am their answer. Because when I address the world in a particular way, it's going to resolve a problem. Right? And at that moment when you realize that, you can really say that I am a child of God. And there is nothing that anyone can say or do that will shake you from that. And everything that you touch will come out of that excellence that's in your DNA. Everything that you touch. You begin to walk in the power of your authority. You're like, what? Power of my authority? And that's going to be a whole nother build. The power of your authority. We're going to talk about that. That's just going to be just a phrase by itself that we build on. So you understand. I am a child of God, and there's power in that authority. Where I took the time to learn who God made me to be. And no one is going to tell me that I am not creative genius. Say, I will walk in the power of my authority given to me by God. Woo. Some people walk in authority and power that is given to them by themselves because they're bigger and stronger. Us as black people, we say we're going to walk into the power authority of the God placed in us. And with that, we influence the world around us. And when you can do that, you are definitely, wholeheartedly untouchable in your authority. You get to say, be, and do. It's a swag. It's your Godfidence. And I know if you've been a part of World of Alkebulan for a minute, y'all know what I'm talking about when I say Godfidence. It's not your confidence, because confidence can be shaken. Your Godfidence is something that no one can take from you. You know who you are in God, and there is no shaking you from it. You know what you're here to do and produce. And then you produce it. It's not, it's not this. Blah, 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 blah. People got titles. Blah, 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 blah. People got positions. Blah, 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 blah. But they produce nothing or very little. But it's those who truly believe that I was brought here to this earth by God to do something great. And it may not be as great as somebody else's, but it's great in your life, right? It's great for you. For me, mine is going to be mine. Yours is going to be yours. But we come together to solve a problem as the children of God. This is what the journey is all about. But we get it. This is what the journey is all about. That promise that we will be the children of God. We're going to be the best of what we can be as a people and show everybody else how good we are and how good it is when you surrender to the presence and power of God. There is no people on this earth doing that right now. And you can see that with Russia and Ukraine just killing themselves. You can see that with white America always fighting to keep black people down. You can see that. Well, I was about to say something. I'm going to punch some holes in somebody. By where people don't believe that they can make it big in the white world unless they marry somebody white. I have people discussing this for real. I'm like, what? I sat into a conversation the other night, and the pastor was discussing it with his people, saying, I must be, I might be, have to marry outside my race. What? What are you telling me? So you're giving up on your culture, your heritage, your tradition of who God calls you to be as a people, to be a people of God? Really? Some people are lost. Some people don't know what it means. Now, I took the liberty of creating an example. Now, and he doesn't claim the spiritual awareness, but he gives a great example, and everybody's going to know who he is, of Godfidence and being the answer. They used to call Allen Iverson the answer because you put a basketball problem, defenses is a problem, he's going to figure it out. Never won a championship because he can't be an answer by himself. He had to be an answer along with a team. And so we're going to take a look at Bronny, Big Papa Bronny. Now, I want to show this, and I'm going to do this because we're going to go through this. Where's he at? And we're going to drop it right here. Okay. These are his friends. These are his childhood friends. These are his buddies. Now, in this journey, he never stopped hanging with his bros. Why? Because they always pushed him to be great, but he also pushed them to be great. And so his business partners would always make decisions according to their level of greatness. Go study it. And they used to talk about him and his friends when he first started. King James, he gravitated toward what? I'm going to show you that I am a child of God. I am the answer to a situation that will be resolved. And most of y'all think it's basketball, but it's not. Basketball was the tool God used for him to gain resource. And we said one of the resources in this world that we have a lack of as a people is finances. And God gave him a physical talent, surpassing everybody that has ever played the game, even Jordan. And not the fact that he's the GOAT because he achieved more than Jordan has, but he is able to do the things at an age where Jordan couldn't. Jordan wasn't at his age, wasn't playing at such a high rate. Now, that's just how he gained his resource. But in life, you began to see what answer he was called to address, with the resources he was able to obtain based behind tapping into his talents and his gifts. Woo! Now, the LeBron James, the I Promise School. Him and his friends knew when they grew up, they did not wish the struggle of their childhood on any other child who was in need. So when you're worth $500,000, I mean 500 million, $500 million, $500 million. What are you here to accomplish? We have a lot of millionaires who ain't accomplishing absolutely nothing. That means the money that they were able to get ain't got nothing to do with confidence. It's their confidence. It's all in their head. It's their ego. But when you know that you've amassed an amount of resource and then there's a group of people who wants an opportunity to get up, develop, grow, and be the best that God has for them, what do? He says, I promise school, and there's a promise you make. And in it, he says, well, you know what I'm going to create? And this is the man. This is who he is. Basketball is what he does. The gift is what he was given. But he came to use that skill to answer a question. So his school what? Focuses on accelerated learning. World of Alkebulan does that. Provide jobs and placement assistance for the parents. Well, our church community used to do that. Has a food bank on site. So if you hungry, you picking up your kids, you go to the food bank and get food to go home for school. Yeah, we have one of those. What is the answer? Look at the answer. Support students with stress from economic causes. What? You ain't got no sneakers, man. Come on. How you gonna go to school and feel good about yourself when you got holes in everything? He gives a bike to every student so that they can cycle outside of their neighborhoods to explore the town. What? You know how big that is? I remember one year, World of Alkebulan, we did a bicycle event, and I went around and asked everybody, yo, can y'all please donate bikes? And I taught all the kids how to build bikes, and we was riding hard for a whole summer. Hard. I think we broke every bike and fixed it again. And then we stored them inside the basement. And I don't know what happened after that. I don't think I was a group leader after that. Something happened and we just dissipated. I taught so many kids how to ride bikes. It's a difference, man. It's a beautiful thing. He guarantees free college tuition to the University of Akron to all graduates starting in 2021. So last year, he made sure everybody's going to college to get an education. Why? Because to tap into your best self. Your best self. How important is that? This is the answer he was called to address. This is the equation. And these are the friends that he's been doing it with since childhood. Now you look at how big he is, and can you imagine a group of people who sit there and say, I'm not upset that you're this great. I can't play basketball, but I can do some administrative stuff that will take this group and move it forward. And he went everywhere he went, they was there. Now, yeah, they got agents, they got sport agencies and everything. So they also help in the athletic world. You see it, free tuition, the kids get free uniforms, free bikes and helmets, free transportation to and from school if you live within 2 miles, free breakfast, lunch, and snacks. It's his version of a public school. A food pantry for families. We said that food bank. You're going home with groceries when you need it. GEDs and job placement for parents. And I had a friend of mine when I put together the World of Alkebulan experience, and we were seeking, and before we became a nonprofit, we were seeking some financial support from bigger institutions, and we're going to go back and contact these individuals and move forward with this. They said, what are you going to do for the parents? That's why I said this is not just for the kids. This is for everything. World of Alkebulan, we have it written out, a documentation on how would I address the need of adult education. Now, I have a church community, Pan-African Orthodox Christian Church, that will help with that. And so this is a part of that. GEDs, and then we said guaranteed tuition, right? Wow. And all you have to do is be your best student. And in that, you're going from class to class, learning what you're called to do. This is an example of a Pentecostal experience in a life journey where he became the focal point of pulling resources, where his friends got together and they worked it all out. When he's leaving here and going there, it's not him making the decision, it's his friends and the family discussing it, saying what is the best thing for us to do to get the best out of ourselves so that we can go back and answer the problem that we're here to resolve. Wow. That's walking in the power of your authority. You don't have to be LeBron James to do it. All you have to do, let me get that off the screen. All you have to do is be your best self. And if you can do that, then you're asking the Creator to lead you in waters where your faith has no boundaries. You will be able to have, they say, get your faith the size of a mustard seed and watch yourself succeed. Go find a mustard seed. This is the homework. Everybody find a mustard seed. Adults too, because you talk to adults and they think they got it. Take a mustard seed out and put it on a plate. Stare at it and ask yourself, is your faith that big? If you can say yes, then that means we can see it in your accomplishments. If you say no, pour water on yourself and grow to the point where your faith, and not really pour water on yourself, guys. Don't sit there. He told me pour water on my head. No, it means sit yourself in a place where you are surrounded by friends who are going to push you to be your greatest self. Pentecost season, the reason why we ask it, because you are absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the answer. You are a creative genius, and there's no other way to put it. That black genius, that melanated magic. You are the magic that the world is waiting for. You are the answer. And if you can get that, yeah, we got a better world to watch grow. Just because you in it. And I'm going to try to stick around. People always say, Jay, how old you going to be before you stop? I'm never going to stop. I'm going to stick around until I can see black youth change the world over. Y'all get ready for what I'm about to drop in the next few days, because we're going after the planet. We're coming out of our neighborhoods. We're coming out of our homes, and we're going to go after the planet, because we're going to connect, because black youth, and that's not only in age, that's in spirit. If you are 70 years old, we got the youthful spirit. We talking to you too. We're going to need them all to manifest what God has us here to answer. We are the answer. If you can get that, yeah. Listen to the song again. Spirit, lead me to a faith where it goes beyond borders, and my feet walk on top of waters wherever you lead me. Let's get to Pentecost season. Let's find out what we're here to answer, and let us walk in our confidence, the power of our authority. One love.
Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior.
Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my